it satisfaction yet, or are you still just riding the wave?
No, I remember that exact question. I remember exactly what I said. I said, satisfaction will be felt in January when the season's over. So, still sitting here, late November, and no satisfaction. But, obviously, we've had some success and some things like that. But, still a lot more to go after.
Mike, how can you quantify the impact that Joe Moorhead has had on this offense this season?
Yeah, Coach Moorhead has came in here and instilled a lot of confidence in each and every player. He's brought in a great scheme for all of us to be successful in, and I think that the numbers and all that kind of stuff show it. I'm appreciative of Coach Moorhead and thankful to play in this offense. More importantly, excited to play in it on Saturday night. So,
what do you see in Wisconsin's pass defense, and how well do you guys as an offense match up with them, do you think?
I think Wisconsin is extremely successful with their entire defense. Specifically, talking about their pass defense, I think that they're very talented in the back end. I think that they bring a good combination of size and speed. They're good with the ball in the air, and but obviously you're not making it to the Big Ten championship game for no reason. So that's kind of what we expect, and I'm excited for that opportunity.
Challenge on your end, though. I mean, to face a secondary like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Challenge that myself and the receivers are looking forward to as well. So being a competitor, that's something that you look forward to, and I think it's gonna be a great opportunity for us.
Mike, what's changed for you this week facing a 3-4 defense in preparation? Said most of you you're probably facing 4-3.
I guess just the looks that we're getting in practice and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's something that we haven't seen in a little bit. So to go against just a different front is obviously just going to be stuff that we prepare differently in practice.
How does it affect the offensive line having to deal with, I'd say, quicker athletes on the hole in the box?
Yeah, I mean they still get to some 4-down stuff and some things like that. So at the same time, it's kind of going to be similar as to some other things that we face this season. But just like any other week, we got to prepare for what this team's going to give us.
What do you remember about your first meeting with Joe Moorhead, and what has he said maybe then that's kind of carried through to now?
I remember Tommy Stevens came home, and he's like, hey, I just met the new OC, he knew my name and everything. And I'm like, oh, if he knows Tommy's name, he's going to know me, right? So I walk up there and knock on his door, walk in. I'm like, hey, Coach. He's like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, all right, well, good start. And kind of introduced myself from there. And then, just moved forward and went through spring practice and just tried to prove myself to him. And I think that everything's worked out with him. So,
Mike, you are involved in the run game and the pass game.
Yeah.
How close do you think the offense is to achieving balance of being able to run or pass in any situation?
I think that we're extremely balanced. I think it just depends on the game. We've had games where we've come out and we've only thrown it 13, 15 times, but then we hand it off to 2-6 and we let them be 2-6. Or we've had games where like the last game where we're going to take some shots down the field and try to expose them in that way. So I don't think it has to do with us saying we're going to run it here, pass it here. Just kind of take what the defense gives us.
Do you think Moorhead was maybe messing with you a little bit? I mean, considering what he had done with tight ends, where he had been before, I mean, you had to know if he had a guy like you with two measurables on the roster, right?
I mean, maybe. Didn't have the impact I wanted to last year, so that could have played into the role. I was also injured at the time when he came through, so.
Wisconsin running back for Clements in New Jersey guy.
Yeah.
You guys pass him across?
I actually visited Wisconsin when I was in high school. Met him out there. He probably doesn't even remember it. But he's obviously from South Jersey. Went to high school with Juwan. So, just another Jersey connection.
You guys are the second, I think, youngest team, or one of the top 5 youngest teams in football, yet you're playing for a conference championship and a chance to go further. How do you explain that?
I think that's just the coaching staff and the position that they put us in each and every week. They put us in a position out here, Tuesday through Friday to come out here and prepare at a very high level. So this way that the age and the experience, all that kind of stuff doesn't even come into play, because on Saturday it doesn't matter if you're a true freshman or you're a 5th-year senior. You have to go out and execute your job.
Going off that, how has your role as a leader, developed over the season so far with the O-line having some changes up front?
I think that there's been a few guys that have stepped up as leaders. Trace being one of them. Obviously, being the starting quarterback, that's kind of one of the roles that comes along with that. I think that he's done a great job with that as well. Saquon is a very vocal leader for us as well. And, I've also tried to take it upon myself to become more of a leader. Sometimes, I'm not going to say as much, but, trying to lead with my actions and things like that, maybe on the practice field or, on the sideline during the game, going out and trying to talk to some guys. So I think that, leadership in every single position can help.
What are your thoughts on James being named Coach of the Year?
I think that, he's very deserving of it. Very, very happy for Coach Franklin. I've said it from the time I've been here. I love playing for Coach Franklin. He's always had my back. Have talked to him in positions facing adversity and things like that. He's always been there for me. Appreciative of him for that. And for him to come in here and have the success that that he's had and that this team has had. I think that he really deserves that award. I'm happy for him.
What's his biggest strength, Mike?
Who's that?
James.
I would say probably his energy and his confidence and all that kind of stuff. It's contagious to the guys around us. You see him after a guy scores a touchdown, you would think he scored the touchdown. He's running around chest bumping people. It's fun to see that out of your head coach, and it's contagious to the guys around us.
Did he know your name the first time he?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Mike, going back to the youth on the team, there's been a lot that this program's had to go through externally and internally. How has the maturity of this team, even as young as you guys are, played into the role of the success you've had this year?
Yeah, I think that our team, obviously being young and all that kind of stuff, I think that with the success that we've experienced this season, I think that it's helped us grow and mature as the season's gone on. Earlier in the season, we hit some adversity in some games, and the lack of experience kind of showed. But then as the season has gone on, we were able to progress and not kind of let the experience and the young guys kind of get to it, but rather those guys grow old in that position.
Mike, what have you seen so far this week that's shown you just how excited the fans, the alumni, and students are this week?
I know that the line for the tickets was the line was damn near off campus, so I mean that's kind of what we expect though. Penn State has the best fans in the country, so that's kind of what we expect. We appreciate them. Obviously, regular season's over and all that kind of stuff, but going undefeated at home in Beaver Stadium, giving us a huge home field advantage, and we can use every single one of them out there in Indianapolis.
Have you had any memorable interactions with going around campus or downtown this week?
I mean, I've seen some people, and everybody, good job, nice touchdown, can't wait to see you on Saturday, all that kind of stuff. So, everybody's out there and they're all, huge supporters, and we can't thank them enough. They play just as big as a role to all the success that we're having this season.
How has that motivated you? This program has been through a lot, and the community is stuck around. So
Yeah.
how has that motivated you to want to come away with the win in this championship game?
Absolutely. Our fans have been through a lot, and for them to kind of see us having the success that we're having this season, they deserve it just as much as we do. We appreciate them, just sticking by our side through some adversity and some downs, and now they're kind of feeling this success as well. So to go out there on Saturday, obviously it's a great opportunity to go out there and play for a championship and thank our fans.
I know that you all can't imitate the Wisconsin secondary, but what have you done? What have you seen from the defense that they've been trying to do in terms of looks to help the offense out for this week?
Yeah, our scout team has done a phenomenal job all season long, and the GAs that kind of run the scout team, Tommy Galt and Joe Brady, they do a great job going out there and getting the guys in the right spot and telling them just exactly what to do. They've given us a great look all week long and have prepared us for Saturday. Obviously, it's hard to get that exact same speed and all that kind of stuff, but they've done a great job and they've really helped us out.